Welcome back to The Trend, a weekly video series powered by Mortgage Champions, where we examine the trend lines behind the headlines and provide you with practical business takeaways for your companies. We actually have a celebrity guest here with us this week.
The old man is in the room.
Which is pretty special to have him off the road, which is fun. And so, of course, this morning he had to show us all up on the golf course, which was great. But thanks for joining us this week.
It's great to be here. Sporting my Fit for Hope hat to support our charities that we're doing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, glad to be here with you guys.
That's great. Well, let's put you in the hot seat and grill you with some questions, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you've been on the road pretty much every single week this year so far.
Pretty
much. What's been going on? What have you been seeing out there?
Yeah,
What are
so it's
challenges, opportunities.
all
what's
of the
the news?
above have been happening. So, as I've said, everywhere I went, I know you guys have been mentioning this on the Trend several times, that today's marketplace is the most competitive marketplace I've seen in 36 years, but also the most opportunistic. And, I've been speaking at a lot of conferences where there's a lot of focus right now on digital technology. That's moving at the speed of sound right now, speed of light. I mean, whatever's the fastest of those two is which one is moving at. It is moving quick. And one of the things that I would say to anybody watching today is that if you don't have a digital mortgage technology presence, you need to get one as quick as you can. But if you don't, you need to understand that it really is about building structure. Really, the benefit and the advantage of digital mortgage technology today is to create ease for the customer. Customers demand that. They expect that. We need to be, as mortgage professionals, really focused on ease and efficiency. And you can do that without having really costly technology, but you have to compete with those that do. That's what it comes down to. The rate market continues to be fluctuating. We've seen rates go down for a little bit of time. They're starting to go back up again. The long-term prognosis is we're still in a rising rate market. If we start to think we're in a dropping rate market and we get overly confident in what rates are going to do and start changing our pitch, we're not going to succeed. You have to sell today in a way that you understand that rates are up, they're going to stay up. On the refi side, that means you got to be selling cash out and debt elimination. You can't be selling rate and term because there's not that much out there. On the purchase side, it doesn't matter. We're in the spring market now. I mean, it's hot and heavy. The market's picking up. People are starting to buy. Millennials are starting to come in strong. The forecast this year is 52 to 56% of the entire purchase market will be millennials. That's really great news.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the trends and headlines I'm seeing that are happening. Is it's we need to sell in the marketplace to the marketplace, and the marketplace right now is a hot real estate market that's starting to pick up. Lots of competition out there you got to deal with. It's important you build those connections with your realtors and your partners. Get back in touch with them. Don't think that because you've worked with them for the last 10 years that they're just going to automatically give you business. You got to keep those relationships strong and sell like rates are going to keep going up no matter what they do. Because if you do that, you're always going to win. So that's kind of an overview of what I'm seeing.
That's awesome.
Good point.
So I'm curious. So purchases picking up. At least half of those purchases will be with millennials. Who are you seeing out there that's having success with millennials, and what are a few things that they're doing well that you think contributes to that success?
Great question. So a couple of things that I'm seeing where companies doing very well with millennials. So first off, they understand the dynamic of a millennial. I happen to be surrounded by 3 of them. I own 4 of them, as I like to say. The millennial generation is highly relational. It is a generation that is, I believe, the smartest generation I've ever seen, but smart doesn't equate to mortgage knowledge. That's the mistake. The ones who aren't succeeding are making that mistake. They think that the millennials are going to know because they're smart and a very well educated generation that they're going to know mortgages, but they don't. So I think that the key is, what I'm seeing is 2 things. Companies with good technology, remember the stats, 88% of millennials go online to start their mortgage process, but 90% of them end it with a loan officer. So it's highly relational, but it starts with technology. So the companies who are doing well have a great technological approach. They're utilizing social media. They're utilizing, all the different channels of technology for marketing and digital out there. But then they're really working on building those relationships with the millennials when they get them, educating them and walking them through. The key right now is education, not selling. If you're selling, you're not going to do any well with millennials. Sure. They don't want any part of that. Yeah. They want a real process to go through with real people who are explaining things the right way, helping them understand how to buy. You know, and today you have to have the product for millennials too. You have to have a low down payment product. You have to have a product that allows for multiple different streams of revenue and income for millennials, because that's very commonplace today. These are the things where companies are really succeeding in the marketplace today.
Well, we're seeing some regulations catch up with some of that as well. I mean, there was a recent announcement,
Yep.
new qualifications to figure out, hey, how do we recognize so many streams of income with people driving Uber and working online and whatever
Yeah.
else? You know what I mean? It's good to see that the government is catching up a little bit in that regard and giving the industry tools to be able to serve these marketers. Yeah.
That's good, and a lot of the providers of mortgage products out there today are doing the same thing. So when you understand the dynamic, you can sell better to that dynamic and help them be successful.
Interesting.
Now, when you say that this market is the most opportunistic one that you've seen in a while, I'm sure that there might be a lot of people out there, loan officers especially, that would maybe disagree with that because of the increase in competition and with everything that's going on with rates. And but what are you seeing that actually makes this more this market more opportunistic than 2016, 2015, 2014?
Gosh, I love that question. That's really good. So the reason I believe it's the most opportunistic is because what we moved away from 2010 to 2017 during that low interest rate period was we moved away from relationship building. We moved away from nurturing our partners and our clients. We moved into order taking and rate quoting because you could. I mean, look, rates were 2s and 3s. There were so many customers. You could just quote a rate and win from 2010 to 2016, 17 without any problem. 2018 comes, rates start to increase, and all of a sudden it's a different market. Plus you got the tightening of inventory and the purchase side and all those things. And the biggest thing that created competition, the biggest two things, is the shrinking of the market, because as refis have gone away, last month 83% I just saw of mortgages last month were purchases. Wow. That's huge. Okay, that's really different than it was a year and a half ago. So you've got a lot less customers, same number of lenders. That creates more competition, and then you add credit triggers into that. You got a lot of that going on. The reason it's very opportunistic is because if you understand that in today's marketplace, although it's more competitive, the consumer is going to buy from the person who gives them the best experience. You know, everybody's got digital technology, or most everybody. And if you don't, as I mentioned earlier, you can supplement that with really good experience. Today, we can win the deals more because of who we are and how we interact than we could 3 years ago. 3 years ago, it was just a rate game. 3 years ago, it was, okay, I just saw 3 1/4. Somebody just said 3 1/8. Which one do you got? I'll take the lower. Today, it's, well, rates are up, so now I need to know how to buy right. I need to know who I should be working with, and I want somebody I can trust. I believe it's moved back to more of a relational, experience-based marketplace like it used to be. For that reason, we control those things. I don't control my price, but I control my relationships. I don't control my products necessarily, but I do control the diversity of those products. And I don't control what competition does, but I do control what I do. And if we understand the competitive marketplace and know how to respond to that, which is what we teach Mortgage Champions all the time, we win big. That's why I think it's such an opportunistic market.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Fantastic takeaways. Thanks, Dale. It's good to have you in, and be able to hear from the pro.
Hey, it's good to hear three young guys make me look good. I love this. This is great.
This would be a whole lot easier if you're here every week.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're out on the road telling people what you need to know.
That's exactly right.
Good news all around. But.
So other good things going on this month. Jake, what's coming?
Yeah, so we talked about this in the past, but each month we have a nonprofit that we helped start. Dale actually founded it years ago. That's had a ton of impact all across the world. And so one of the things that nonprofit now does every month is put out a giving challenge, a charity challenge. And so we support it here at Mortgage Champions. We'd love for you guys to partner with us as well. This month, what MPPH is doing is they are funding tablets and headsets for students in Guatemala.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're fortunate to help support an early learning education center that's actually based, believe it or not, just on the outskirts of a city dump where families, believe it or not, live. They actually sift through the dump to try and find things that they can sell or repurpose to make income for their family. And so it serves those kids, and it's really cool. These kids now, because of donations through this challenge, they have access to world-class education online by getting a tablet or getting a headset so they can do interactive learning. So it's really cool.
So
that,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, the education you dream of giving your kids here in the United States,
That's great.
kids can access even in the dump in Guatemala City.
So if people that want to get involved with mortgage professionals providing hope, how
Yep.
would they go about doing that?
Yep, so mpph.org, and specifically for this challenge, it's mpph.org/giving challenge. So, but we'll put the link in the description, so just click on that. It's really easy.
Very cool.
It's so awesome. You know, it's funny because you and I have been around the world.
Mhm.
Bo, you've been around the world with both of us. Michael, you joined us one time in India. And of all the things we've seen, and we've seen a lot of crazy things
Yeah.
as we've traveled around the world, and some of the most destitute part of the world that there is. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that day we walked to the edge of that garbage dump
Yeah.
and saw those families just milling through the garbage. That
Yep.
was, for me, one of the most powerful moments in my lifetime, and really,
Same.
really shook me to the core. So.
Yep.
You're doing a great thing. You help with this. We're actually educating these kids whose families have to every night sleep in a garbage dump and send their kids off to school. This would educate them. So keep
Yep.
up the great work, Jake. You're doing an
Yeah,
awesome
that's
job.
exciting.
Proud of you.
Yeah,
It's
that's
awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, guys.